Guys, DBG here, and today we are going to be talking about the Anthony Davis and Kawhi Leonards and which ones I would advise you guys to pick up in NBA 2K22 MyTEAM, lads. So, before we go on, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We are less than 3,500 subscribers away from hitting 300k. That's our goal by NBA 2K22. The way things are going right now, it's not looking like we're going to hit it, but or NBA 2K23. Not looking like we're going to hit it, but anyway, now let's get on to it. So, we have got 5 Kawhi Leonards right here, as well as an invincible Kawhi that we already have, and a power within Kawhi. Let me just first and foremost say, don't get the power within Kawhi. With Anthony Davis, we've got a Hero AD, a Lakers invincible AD, as well as these cards right here, an Endgame, and these 3 Pelicans cards. So we're going to start off when it comes to these two guys are looking at the avoid at all cost players. And this is a very, very strange one. But my biggest avoid at all cost player in this entire list is going to be either this endgame is in my avoid at all costs. No, I'm not even going to say this hero because he's cheap. Or this invincible. These two are in my avoid at all costs. Reasoning. First of all, this invincible, yes, stats are good, but he comes with like only okay dribbling, like normal size up. Yeah, the Kobe escape's all right, normal leaner, but it's just there are better cards that better versions of AD you can get for like 35k. And again, with you avoid at all costs, it's price. It's price, man, and there are so many better alternatives. Like you can get 2 power. There are at least 3 power forwards in this game that are under 50k MT that are better than Anthony Davis. This Anthony Davis is not as good as 70-50 Giannis. And I get it. The issue is that D-Rose left-right is only good for left-righting, which involves quick and shifty burst, which Anthony Davis does incredibly slowly. The Trey escape, he cannot do it properly because he's 253 pounds. Sure, release is good. I like the Trey fade. I like the Scotty behind the back. We are looking at probably the 8th best power forward in the game. And that is me being probably nice to this card. We're looking at a card that would be, honestly, he'd be worse than Endgame Jokic if Endgame Jokic could play power forward. If instead of point guard center that Endgame Jokic is point guard power forward, he'd be worse than that card. I'm telling you, he is the worst auctionable Endgame, in my opinion, by a mile. He is the worst by a mile. And that is why he's going into avoid at all costs. Another player in the avoid at all costs is going to be this Kawhi Leonard right here. He's just expensive for what he is. Like, there's very little in terms of price between Mystic Kawhi Leonard, from what I've seen anyway, and the Anniversary Kawhi. Maybe that has changed because of the videos that have been made by myself and Ty talking up the Mystic card. But even though he comes with 40 half badges, that release being on quick and the fundamental dribble style is killer. His stats are good. His badges are really good. It's just having the animations of the power within is not great. Another avoid at all cost player is this invincible Kawhi. So not this invincible Kawhi, sorry. I picked the wrong one. By the way, this invincible Kawhi is a different card, actually. This invincible Kawhi is in the avoid at all costs. Because while he can play at the 2-guard position, we're looking at Kawhi size, which is okay. We're looking at the Pro Escape. Compared to, the Pro Escape's really bad. Compared to the Mystic having the Curry Escape. So I would definitely put the Mystic above the previous invincible Kawhi Leonard, because again the Mystic has basically perfect stats. So that is in our avoid at all costs. And then we have got our use if you like the player category. And that category for me is, if you're a big AD fan, I actually am not that opposed to using this MyTEAM Anniversary card. The use if you like the player applies to this Anthony Davis here, as well as this Kawhi Leonard right here. If you are cool with the positions and you really want to use a Kawhi Leonard or an AD, these are the cards to go for. So this AD is on the cheap side. This Kawhi Leonard is somewhat on the cheap side. The thing with this AD is, he's basically going to play almost like the Invincible. He's going to play better than the Hero, worse than the Invincible. So he still has that same sig as the Invincible. Same animations. But like, this is an anniversary card. He's essentially got 95 plus in every single stat. Like, this is the best anniversary card there is. Like, this is an Anthony Davis that is going to be very, very hard to distinguish in-game between this guy and the original Invincible. He's a lot better than the Hero card, in my opinion. Like, a really, really good card. Unless you're looking for Wilt, I'd avoid the hero at all costs. But if you are a big Anthony Davis fan and you're on a budget, this is actually not a bad card. The issue is it's a little bit expensive because these cards are actually lock in now. Then we've got this AD here. Power forward center Anthony Davis. So this is a card I like. I do really like this card. The only issue is again, he's just a little bit undersized for power forward. I just think at this stage in the game, he's not really the greatest card in the world. His original one was a opal. So you're looking like 96 speed, 96 acceleration. You're looking at perfect stats right here. And the only issue is that he's a 6'10" power forward. In terms of his SIGs, he actually gets the Mitchell size up, which the Mitchell size up on AD is one of the most overpowered things in the world because yes, they gave him the Curry escape. And yes, he is too heavy to do the Curry escape. But the Mitchell spam looks almost a little bit like, you can get kind of the same separation from Mitchell spam as you can the Curry escape. So the Mitchell spam lets you, essentially, if you go for the backward size up, it's not quite an escape, but it's the best, it's close thing to an escape you're going to get out of a 6'10" dude who's over 250 pounds. And then there's Kawhi Leonard. The only issue, like this Kawhi Leonard is like in terms of bang for your buck, if you want to play in power forward, he's the best you can get. He is as close as you can get to an invincible card without being an invincible. 60 half badges, every key badge in the game. And again, he does have the Curry slide, quick dribble style, Ray Allen base. So an all around really, really decent card. Then there is the if you have a lot of MT and you like these players. And that is this invincible AD and this Kawhi Leonard. So I think if you have the MT and you're dead set on putting in, I'd advise against this Anthony Davis because I don't like him on power forward. Don't think he's good there. However, did this original one have both? I didn't realize both of these had Anthony Davis's eyes there. But the difference between these two invincibles is the Mitchell escape, which actually, if you're trying to ever move with Anthony Davis, is quite a big difference. Again, I would advise you to just go for this next card, or I would advise you to go for this here. But if you just want to be a big baller, don't go for the end game, just go for this one. Then we have got Kawhi Leonard's point guard, shooting guard card. So basically, Kawhi's best position is shooting guard, but he's also a very interesting point guard. Because of his defense, it's because of the way he moves and feels in game. You don't need to change matchups. So most of the time you have to switch matchups to put him on a point guard. You don't need to switch matchups at all with this Kawhi Leonard. One of the best releases in the game, one of the best jump shots in the game, Curry slide, moves really well, perfect stats, perfect badges. Like, we are looking at one of the best cards in the game. And I think he is the best cone point guard in the game. Forget about these taller guys. Kawhi is the best cone point guard in the game. So if you're out here with like invincible MJ, or you don't, there's no point because just get the out of position MJ. But this is probably, in my opinion, this is the best of the Kawhis. And then, if you are an absolute big baller, you can go and get this Kawhi. I prefer the way Kawhi moves with the Ray Allen base. I prefer the Curry escape to the Trey escape. I don't like D-Rose left right either. And I prefer base 3 to Ray Allen. So I prefer base 3 to Ray Allen in general, but on Kawhi is the only player where I really like is Ray Allen. Kawhi and Pistol Pete Maravich, that's it. The Trey fade is good. I think this is the best Kawhi. I know Ty said the other one, like, I think that because of the position versatility, being able to play this one as your cone point guard, and like you can run Jordan at the 1 or 2, so it doesn't mean like you can have even the versatility for your team. But running Kawhi at the 1, maybe that's the move. Either way, you can't go wrong with either of those Kawhis. Like, if you have the MT and you want one of those cards, yeah, you can go for them. I'd strongly advise against spending the MT on this AD. If you haven't, you're a big fan, just go for one of these ones. But now, the best options. For Anthony Davis, the best option is the small forward point guard Anthony Davis. For Kawhi Leonard, the best option is Mystic. This Kawhi Leonard is going to be indistinguishable from the invincible point guard one, except he can't play point guard. You're looking at perfect stats other than standing dunk, which 80's fine. You're also looking at ridiculously good shooting badges, every defensive badge in the game, the same Kawhi defensive animations with the exact same SIGs. Kawhi size of Curry escape, a fantastic player, lads, and a player that I would suggest for a lot of you guys to at least try out. And then Anthony Davis. Small forward, in my opinion, might be a top 3 small forward in my team. A card that for me is comparable to the Giannis. Not endgame Giannis, but I think he's comparable to invincible Giannis. He's comparable to 75th Giannis, who a lot of people think are that next level down as far as power forwards go. Small forwards go. He's got perfect stats, like absolutely perfect stats, perfect badges. Dribble sigs, while I don't like him as a point guard, the Donovan Mitchell size up allows him to move as a small forward. And release is really good. Really easy to catch and shoot. So I don't like my power forward. The issue with that is you're coming up mostly against Ralph Sampson as a power forward. I think he's too small for that. The issue with small forward is that you can come up with is a taco, but it's incredibly rare you face a taco at small forward. You're a lot more likely to face a Yao or Ralph at power forward because he's 10 KMT and everyone has him, which you face in every damn game. But it's highly, highly unlikely a small forward that you face the one guy that's going to give him trouble with tackle fall. And even still, he's probably the small forward that gives tackle the toughest time. So yeah, that's pretty much it. For me, the guys that you should definitely look at are the Swish Anthony Davis and the Mystic Kawhi Leonard. I think if you're a big baller, either the point guard Invincible Kawhi, definitely don't go the other Invincible Kawhi. Point guard Invincible Kawhi Leonard, or the in-game Kawhi Leonard, or maybe the Anthony Davis are decent. If you're a big fan of players, the 75th versions and the anniversary of AD are pretty good. And in the avoid at all costs are any cards not on this screen right now, like Power Within Kawhi, Hero AD, or the old Invincible Kawhi or old Invincible AD. And then, honestly, I would avoid at all costs this Kawhi Leonard right here, the anniversary one, and I would definitely avoid at all costs the endgame Anthony Davis. So anyway, yeah, that is the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.